BSSP and INFLUX hosted their 6th annual INFLUX conference on December 3, 2011 at Milk Studio in New York City. Entitled Meet the Makers, it featured a wide range of speakers from designers to game creators, brand owners, writers and authors, magazine publishers, bike makers, and improv artists. The purpose was to understand the world of the maker, what inspires and motivates them, and to discover new frameworks around making to help us better understand the changing contexts around communication. Here are 6 core themes that emerged and some highlights of what we learned on that day. In a new world of co-collaboration, it's easy to negate the responsibilities of authorship, but they are critical.
A game, it's not a puzzle. While the toy is interactive, the game has goals, and those are goals that are set by someone other than the player.
They want to say in the story, and yet they want to know that we know where the story is going.
Making requires boldness and bravery. It demands people take risks.
Very soon you have to stop having that creative process in action. You just have to start making decisions.
Steve Jobs announced in January of 2010 that this marvelous new device called the iPad would be coming along, and then he called different media partners and said, "We really want you to be there." Basically what they wanted from us was a guarantee that we would have a closed, windowless, secret room and a metal table in the middle of the room with a hole drilled in it for a chain that would latch down the iPad. And our CEO said, "No way, we're a publishing company, we live to break secrets. We can't guarantee this." So we had 40 days, 40 nights to build this thing with no iPad.
The audience and the network are critical components, inspiring what gets made, how it gets made, and are increasingly involved in the process.
In the network economy that we're all part of today is the network of generosity.
And I think this is something that's really just starting to happen, but engage in radical cooperation.
The audience isn't just an empty vessel. Tell the story, control the story, but leave room for the audience.
The success of ideas and the makers themselves is dependent on the connections they make with their audience.
Interaction itself has actually no value at all. It has to have a purpose. A light switch is interactive, but it's not a lot of fun.
Just as we're hardwired to recognize faces, we're hardwired to see stories.
When I started building bikes, people really responded, and there created a relationship which I thrive off of.
There's something in the passion around making that is often the key discriminator, and it's infectious.
Mainly, I'm into having fun and being happy and feeling fulfilled.
All of a sudden, in your hands, you have this book, and it's beautiful, and it's shiny, and the pages smell great, and there's this warm sense of accomplishment that fills your senses, and suddenly you feel like all that hardship was inconsequential. And then other people start to see your book as well, and they start to react to it. And then suddenly you start to think about, all that turmoil wasn't really that bad.
Finally, the more open you are, the better things can be.
We're actually in a crisis of transparency right now, because in the information age, you can't hide what you do.
Heading into the second decade of the new millennium, as communicators, we are fully aware that what we do and make is changing. New avenues and opportunities are opening up all the time with new technology and interaction. Meet the Makers was one way for us to put some of those challenges into context.